It's time to fill your cup with Chelsea's chai.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the premiere episode of Chelsea's Chai, a brand new podcast where I will be interviewing comedians for an exciting segment I have on this podcast called Inside the Punchlines, and I will also be closing the show with my grow up segment. For those of you who have followed me in the past, I have had a grow up segment before, but now I'm incorporating it into my Chelsea's Chai podcast. Where I give my opinion and advice on some very interesting and sometimes polarizing topics. Um, but now it's for the opening part of the show. Which I call Get Into the Bag. All right. And BAG is an acronym. It starts with B, which is boss up, A is accounting, and G is gratitude. So every week for the boss up portion of the show, I will be basically giving you a boss up tip that I have experienced myself or that maybe somebody has shared with me as well. And so for this week, for the boss up statement or part of it, I will say get into your bag by bossing up in this way. I actually for those of you who don't know, I have been in living in Los Angeles for 8 years. I'm a stand-up comedian. Although due to coronavirus, I'm more of a sit-down, horizontal, sometimes leg-lifted comedian. Usually, I'm just stretching, nothing sexual, because Corona. So, yeah, basically, I definitely have had to spend a lot of 2020 doing a lot of reflecting and transitioning. And I want to spend 2021 sharing my lessons with you. I'm basically going on this growth, for lack of a better word, no pun intended. My name is Chelsea Greaux, Greaux. Yeah, I definitely want to. Just move forward with you guys in this new year, in this new time. So yes, so let's get to I went off on a tangent, but let's get back to boss up, the B of get in the bag. Um so bossing up, for me, I had to boss up recently. I won't go into too much detail, but I just definitely recently had a situation where some people that I considered associates pretty much stabbed me in the back and kind of put me in a compromising position and almost cost me some money, because by basically doing this backstabbing incident. And the people that were considering, cutting me off financially because of what these people did, were very, for lack of a better word, rude to me. And overall, this whole situation culminated in me being threatened that if I, you know, continue to essentially speak my mind, which is what I as a comedian and an artist and a black woman and a person, have a right to do. That there would be consequences. And I'm sorry I'm being vague, but I can't go into too much detail. Someday in the future, when I'm in a different situation, I will absolutely go into detail about this situation, but I just can't at this point. But the boss up part I did is I spoke up for myself. And I know, like, you may be thinking, oh, black girl, you always speak up for yourself. Actually, no. Actually, no. Not in situations where maybe money is involved. I think a lot of times black women, we have been taught or brainwashed. I know that I have experienced and am de-brainwashing myself from thinking that I'm not valuable. I think a lot of times we look at black women and we say, oh, it's okay, to yell at her. It's okay to, like, be rude to her. She can take it. It's okay to try to play her. Or, I think that people do these things because they're always trying to test black women, right? Because we are so strong, we are so resilient. And I think that it gives certain people, certain weak minded people, an ego boost when they feel like they get a rise out of a black woman, which I really think that this whole incident was, that's what it was, to get a rise out of me. Or maybe they thought, by doing this backstabbing thing that they were going to try to humble me or something, although I am very humble. And it's ironic because, people are very, very quick to, just try to ruin you. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people that, these associates that, stabbed me in the back and lied on me and everything, they were really trying to mess up my source of income in the middle of a pandemic. And now, when I see these people, they know that I know they did this. I see these people and they, they smile at me and they laugh at me and they think that, I'm friends with them and they think everything is okay. And I honestly, I just want to say, I'm not. I'm not okay with you. I'm not okay with you. We're not friends. We never were friends, but we're not even associates at this point. And that's okay. You know, I am putting my me bossing up is putting my ego to the side temporarily so I can get this paper, basically. And I think that, that is me bossing up because now I'm looking at my situation differently. This this opportunity, this financial opportunity, I'm still able to move forward with it, thankfully. This financial opportunity, I am going to look at it now to invest in myself. And because of that situation and me realizing I needed to separate myself from that situation completely, I now realize that happened. And for a reason. It happened because I believe God wanted me to see that I need to move towards financial independence, which I know that that is not something that everybody is, big on or whatever. Maybe some people are okay, some people aren't. Whatever your cup of tea is, just remember that bossing up in situations where people stab you in the back and when people try to play with your money, speak up. And it's okay, to come back. It doesn't mean you're weak if you have to smile at these people or tolerate these people or be cordial with these people. You know, it can be very, very frustrating after to look at somebody and to continue to interact with people, because you have to for this financial opportunity. It can be frustrating, but just know that those people, I know that those people were there to teach me a lesson, and me bossing up is realizing that, and me bossing up is confronting them about that, and me bossing up is knowing that I'm going to move forward in my life in a place of positivity. So that's my boss up tip. Speak up for yourself. Definitely always keep paper trails whenever you're doing business or business deals or anything like that with anybody. Always keep a paper trail. I guess if I had to sum up this week's boss up, I would say that paper trail yourself. Okay. So now, for the accounting, because we gotta, finances are still real. And we're going to move into a quick accounting tip with my wonderful friend of mine and, financial expert and a black woman and mother, wife, just all around amazing person. So her name is Krystal, and we're gonna go to a interview I did with her recently, where she shares a quick accounting tip for 2021 and for forward. Hey y'all, so we're back here on Chelsea's Chai, and we are in the middle of our Get Into the Bag segment. We just had a taste of blessings, and now we're about to get into the A part of the bag, which is accounting. And I'm very, very excited to have this woman here on the podcast. I have known her literally since college. I think we met when I was like 18 or 19 years old. We were in an amazing choir together in college called Black Awakening, and we just and that's how we met. And woo woo, BA. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and introduce her. She is a lover of all things finance. She graduated with her bachelor's and master's degrees, both in business with finance concentrations. She returned to school and received her post-baccalaureate certificate in accounting, and she now works as the senior staff accountant and runs her own bookkeeping business. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Krystal Powell.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is
Oh
exciting.
yes, girl. I knew you. I knew you when your maiden name Gaines, girl. I knew. That's how long we
Yes.
known each other. I know you
Right.
since
We
the
go back.
Gaines days.
Go back.
Go back. But she's a married lady now. She's
Yes.
off the market forever.
I'm married now.
So, Krystal, like we were talking earlier. I've always respected your just since I knew you, like I said, when I was 18, 19, you always just talked about money in a different way. Like you could tell that you would just have an understanding, and everyone's mind works differently. And I could tell, I always knew that in the area of finance, you just were gifted in that area. Like you get it, you understand it, it makes sense in your brain. And also, and you're on top of that, you're a black woman, which is just, makes it makes it extra good.
Yes,
And
a little spicy.
right, a little seasoning, a little extra. So I wanted to bring you on here so we can have a conversation because there's a lot going on. This has been a real pandemic, as we know. It's been a crazy year, and I just wanted to, like, a lot of people I know when I've had conversations with people one on one, a lot of people have concerns about, does finance even matter? Like, does money even matter? I mean, I've even heard some people say stuff like, I mean, the way this pandemic's going, I mean, it may be the apocalypse soon, and money ain't gonna matter, so I just, where it amongst all the noise, we're gonna come to you with some clarity. So what first question I wanted to ask you, so because like I said, we're in a pandemic. Is there really any point in, like, saving, or in this insanely confusing time, right? Because a lot of people got their stimulus check and either went straight to bills, or they were like, oh, a lot of people got their $7,000. I know people here in LA that got $7,000 in,
Oh
like,
wow.
unemployment, at once because it was backed up.
Yeah.
Just, putting down payments on an Audi, and I just so because they're like, oh, it's the end. So is there, in your professional financial opinion, is there a point in saving right now?
Yes. Though it can seem like the world is ending, it is not. It will continue to go on. And what you don't want to do is, uh, I guess, throw caution completely to the wind. And when you get to the other side of this, you're like, oh crap, you know? So yeah, definitely is a point in saving right now. But also self-care is very important as well. So that needs to be prioritized right now. That does not mean necessarily completely disregarding saving money and being fiscally responsible, but it does mean you should make it a priority to take care of yourself mentally, whatever that means for you. So if you can find a way to do both, I would definitely recommend doing both. For example, I go to therapy once every 2 weeks, and it has been tremendously helpful for me. I also I do sleep meditations at night. That has been life changing for me as well, and that didn't cost any money. Um, and then just making sure I'm doing the things that I really like to do, like I will, spend $10 on a new book that I want to read, or I'll try to find something at the library that I want to read, and I'll read it. And I will watch my favorite shows, and I'll get my coffee every morning because that's what makes me happy. And I will sing out loud until everyone in the house is like, oh my gosh, shut up, because that's what makes me happy. So, just make sure you're being intentional about taking care of yourself and making sure you're doing the things that make you happy while also being fiscally responsible.
And I think I'm so glad you brought up the self-care part, because I know I do have friends who have kids, and you're a parent yourself, and I just wanted to ask, because one thing I've heard from, like, my coworkers and friends who have kids is, once the schools closed with the pandemic, now their kids are home all the time. And so now one thing is, like, okay, lunch used to be covered by school, now that's another thing that parents have had to cover. Now people, I'm sure, are used to that by now, because that's been going on for almost pretty much this whole year. but it's like that's something that they have to worry about. And then also, having feeling like they have to allocate more of their time to their kids because their kids are home for more of the day. There's not that gap and stuff like that. Do you have any tips of on and any parents who are like maybe still struggling with the transition of having their kids home full time and also making that me time for themselves, financially, like how to financially separate that or allocate?
Yeah, so in the beginning of all of this, we were spending so much money in food at the grocery store. I mean, 350, $400 every time we went. And it was it was not sustainable, to say the least. I was like, we can't keep going like this. And then at one point, we kind of got tired of eating. um, so we actually ended up subscribing to a one of those like meal things where they send you all the ingredients and the instructions and stuff. I don't want to plug any brands,
I know
but
what you mean. Those meal services where they just,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. One that was reasonably priced, and it took all the stress out of like having to figure out what to make for dinner, having to make sure we had all the ingredients. For me, the biggest part was just figuring out what I wanted to make or even feeling like making something. So that took a lot of the stress away, and it actually ended up being cheaper for us than like trying to buy all our meals, because a lot of the stuff went to waste because with the pandemic and our mental health, a lot of times I just did not feel like cooking. So a lot of times some of the produce and stuff that we bought just ended up rotting. So we were wasting a lot of money. So we did that to try to like save ourselves kind of sanity wise a little bit. So that helped a lot. Everybody's situation is completely different. Myself, I work at home. My husband during the day, he's at home, so he's able to homeschool our 4-year-old and make sure our 13-year-old is, good for her virtual learning and stuff like that. And so that's been a blessing. But I know some people who both are working from home and have kids and have to assist them with virtual learning while they're, working themselves. And that's like really stressful. So everybody kind of has to find their groove that works for them. And we kind of have. It took a little while to work out the kinks. But that one change with the meals specifically was a complete stress reliever for us. So I would say just try different things, see if it works for you, see if it feels better when you do it. And if it does, continue with that, if it makes sense for you. Um, and then when you can, when the kids go to sleep, make sure you're taking time for yourself. Like, don't go straight to bed and start all over again the next day. Like, really, like, sit and do things that you enjoy.
That's awesome. I'm really glad you brought up the meal prep thing because honestly, like I think that a lot of people are maybe scared of those things at first sight because they may assume that it's going to be more expensive than grocery shopping. But I love how you were like a lot of stuff does go to waste. Like honestly, and then you think about it, you're like, okay, well, if I spend $200 on groceries this week, and then I end up throwing away $50 worth, or $75 worth because it got freezer burn, or it's just bad now, you know.
Mhm.
I like that. Like, I like that whole. It's kind of like try an alternative for a little bit, and then figure out like where you go from there.
Yep,
Cool.
absolutely.
That is, I like that because it is a self care thing. Because you're just like, you know what, I am worth not somebody else cooking for me. Like it's basically like a chef just
Okay.
said, listen, just do A, B, and C. Cut this, cut this. I gave you exactly how many scallions. Because I've
Yep.
I've made dinners with my homegirl. She used to get them, but they're made for two, and we're two single women. So we were like, all right, let's just get this meal
Hmm.
prep going, right? So that we cut everything up. It's fun. It's actually
Yeah.
something that you could do together with the kids too.
Yeah. And you don't have to waste money buying a whole jar of something when you only need like a tablespoon of it. And they give you exactly what you need, just a little tablespoon. You don't have to buy whole jars, whole boxes, whole containers of things that you're only going to use a little bit of. So it helps a lot, and you end up trying new things.
Yes, before I let you go, please share with everybody your social media handles, your your every all your information, what you have going on over there from the East Coast. Please just let you do your thizzle.
Okay, so my bookkeeping business is Busy Bee Bookkeeping. All you busy bee business owners out there who don't have the time to organize your own stuff, I'll take care of that for you. My website is getbusybookkeeping.com. My Instagram, I have to look it up because I can't remember if it's Get Busy Bookkeeping or Busy Bee Bookkeeping. Get Busy Bookkeeping. So my Instagram is GETBUSYBOOKKEEPING. So you can follow me there. I also do like personal budgeting help under another business name, The Budget Squirrel. So you can find me on IG at The Budget Squirrel, spelled traditionally as well. So yeah.
Well, we thank you so much, Krystal Powell, for taking the time to chat with us here on Chelsea's Chai and give us some
Yeah.
accounting tips. And you'll be back with more, so we're excited about that. And yeah, I shall until next time.
All
Happy
right.
holidays,
Thank
love.
you. Thank you for having me. Happy holidays to you.
Thanks. Bye. And that was Krystal with our accounting tip for the A in Get Into the Bag. And now we're going to go to the G of Get Into the Bag, which is gratitude. For gratitude, I'm going to keep it really simple. I recently, well, I guess it was about 18 months ago now. About 18 months ago, I was in a major, I was in an accident. It was major because I had to have major surgery. I was on a scooter. I won't say which brand of scooter because lawsuits. But I was on a scooter. The brakes were faulty. It resulted in me falling off the scooter, landing on my left knee, and rupturing my patellar tendon. Um, and this happened at the time I was 30. It was a month before my 31st birthday. I am now 32, and I gotta tell you, that was a very emotional process. It is still emotional, and that's why I want to do this gratitude segment. Um, Pardon me if I get emotional. Uh, get it together, Chelsea. This is your podcast. Who? Yeah. So this was a hard experience for me because I couldn't walk for a long time. Who? Excuse me, y'all. I couldn't walk for a long time. I had to walk, and when I did walk, I had to walk with a walker, with a cane. Um, and I hate to get superficial, but I am a woman, and I am judged on my looks often, and like all women are. And the one thing, my weight, anyone who knows me knows my weight has fluctuated a lot throughout my life. And one part of my body that I always was able to be confident about was my legs. Uh, Everyone always complimented my legs no matter what. Chelsea, you've got beautiful, flawless, gorgeous legs. You've got model legs, great legs. And now on one of those legs is a 7.5-inch scar, which scars don't bother me. I do believe scars tell you a story. And I think if the scar was on any other part of my body, it would not have necessarily bothered me. But it's on my leg. It's on a part of my body that up until that day of that accident, I got amazing compliments on. And it's taken some adjusting to my new body. It's taken some adjusting to having to learn how to walk and bend and twerk again. For those of you who do not know, my twerk is 80% back. Okay, we're almost there. We're probably like 6 months out from like 100%. Okay, I mean 80% on a sunny day, probably 70% when it rains, because them joints get a little tight when that condensation. Um, and so my gratitude that I want to share with you today is I'm grateful that my legs work, and I think that is what I had to remind myself, and that is what has given me peace. Is I'm grateful that although I have a scar, although I'm still learning how to do things again, um I am grateful that I can walk. I'm grateful that I had a surgeon who was patient enough and knowledgeable enough and was covered enough by God to um get me to a point where I can walk again. And I'm even started to like slowly, very slowly and slightly jog, you know. And I'm grateful that I've learned to listen to my body. Before this accident, I never really took the time to listen to my body and listen to what was happening with it. And now I do. And that has been really, really phenomenal to experience. And so my gratitude to you is be grateful for your body. Spend the next week, between this episode and the next, looking at your body, looking at the parts of your body that make yourself uncomfortable. I've noticed the more that I look at my injured knee, the more that I rub my scar, the more intimacy I feel with it, which makes me feel more comfortable with it, which makes me appreciate it more and be less judgmental towards myself about it. Um, so yeah, so that is our bag. Just a quick review. As far as the B, boss up, get and keep a paper trail, especially when you're doing money dealings and business deals. Accounting tip. We just had that shared with Krystal. And for gratitude, be grateful for your body. Definitely spend the next week really, really looking at parts of your body that you are most uncomfortable with and love on them. You know, you'd be surprised how grateful you be. All right, so now it is time for the next segment, which I love, and it's called Inside the Punchlines. And basically, I'm going to be interviewing different comedians every week, and I'm going to be playing different bits of theirs, and you'll get to hear the story into how these bits were created. So a little bit of audio voyeurism for you. So here we go, and this is going to be your first comedian, and I'll just let it be a surprise. Here we go. All right.
I was gonna try to push this back like 30 more minutes to like an hour and a half because of the verses. I forgot all about the verses.
Who's versus in right now?
Ashanti and Keisha Cole.
But, really?
Damn, where you been? You don't be nowhere. I'm about to look. They had to postpone it because Ashanti got COVID, saying it worked out for us because I was going. Because then you said you had to push it back. I was like, oh yeah, well, you know.
Well, you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad. You know, we weren't too foolish about this time. You know, it was right there, and I decided to just, do my thizzle.
It's not where I'm at. It's where I want to be.
Well, I changed my mind, actually.
I had to really think hard for a reference, so I'm going to just let you have that last one without trying to ping pong it with you.
Welcome to Inside the Punchlines, where we get inside these hilarious jokes we know and love. And I am your host, Chelsea Greaux. This is Chelsea's Chai. We're about to go into this segment right here. And I'm very, very excited to talk to this next gentleman. I've literally met him maybe literally at most 3 months after I started stand-up comedy, maybe 2. I consider him like family, a big brother to me in comedy and in life. And I'm really excited to introduce him. He is a comedian, actor, and producer from Oakland, California. He has dominated the underground comedy scene in LA since 2011. Comedy Recap called him the most animated performer, and Breaking Geek described him as a scene stealer. He shared with Voyage LA magazine how he got started in comedy. He said something funny in a car, and the driver laughed so hard he got into an accident. So if you're driving, pull over. And he has done so much. He's stood out at the Hollywood Improv, UCB. He's been on CW, Sundance. He's appeared in Netflix's Dolomite Is My Name, Eddie Murphy film. I'm not done yet. He was on CW's All American, in the Comedy Central documentary This Is Stand Up, countless national commercials that I know you guys have seen. And his latest project, he co-starred Embrace, won the South by Southwest Jury Prize, and its pilot is in presentation competition for its Real Laughs and Real Heart. He has also produced a huge amount of stand-up in the last 9 years. He has several comedy specials and albums that are out. He actually inspired me to do my comedy albums that I did as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to him everywhere: Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, wherever you like. And he's got a website. Just here's his name, Anyi Malik, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! I feel like it.
Woo, 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 woo.
So glad to be among you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for that introduction. I remember it in my bio, but it's the way you read it. It was just different. I don't read it like that when I read my own bio. The way you said it, it sounded way more hyped up. I mean,
well, you know, I have a way of doing that.
It. I'm gonna put that in my EPK, so when people open my bio, they can hear you reading it, just like you read it.
There you go.
And all that shit I did on all them shows and networks, it was all background. It was all in the text, all of it underground. So I'm really an underground legend. I mean, because I'm still here and I haven't done anything, even at the higher levels. It's all underground. What you won South by Southwest? But it's underground. It's a pilot. What?
You went before COVID, right? Because you made it with.
Well, no, South by Southwest was canceled, but we still won. We still won because they was watching pilots.
There you go.
They aired some of them, but they didn't air ours because it was some music license. So I want to keep it underground.
Got you.
Actually, the decision had nothing to do with me. It was music. But yeah, it was a big year for me though. Big little underground career, man. Chilling up on this Z list at the very, very
I think you're
very, very by Zim the Invader Zim. Nah, I'm right there at the bottom. That's right where I want to be. The bottom is the top.
Hey. You right, because I see. Because the first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
It's only the head of the table and the foot of the table.
Hey, I know that's
everywhere else is just, everybody just trying to get in where they fit in. I'm where the elbow room is at.
Okay, and if you flip the table, the tail can become the head.
Exactly. The bottom is the top. The top is the bottom. See, they don't think about how the pendulum swings all the way in the other direction. They don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're 3 minutes in. Anya's already taking us to new heights. From
they
the
called me an underachiever. I was an inner achiever. They didn't even, man, whatever.
I love it. Well, Anya, I told you a little bit. I told you a little bit earlier, but I just to go over it again for our viewers, here on Inside the Punchlines. This segment specifically, people come to comedy shows. Well, they did, and people watch us on Zoom and
people
all that
still
stuff.
Going.
People consume.
People
comedy.
Still going.
They're still going. No, and not in LA, but they're going everywhere else. Because I just got back from Atlanta and things are wide open, a little too open. People, I was walking around everywhere with one of those N95 masks, and people were looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "What's wrong with
you?" Like something wrong with you, right?
What's wrong with you? But yeah, I guess the purpose of this segment is I just wanted to just give viewers and listeners an opportunity to kind of get a look inside of our jokes because, comedy stems from a lot of different emotions and experiences, and some bits can come to us really quickly and some come in different ways, over time. Some come from trauma, some come from just something we observed. And yeah, it's interesting because people see you on stage and they laugh and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how did they do that?" And they think it looks so easy, but it's a lot that goes into it. And so we're gonna play 3 of your bits that you sent me, and I'm 3 that I've enjoyed. And actually, it's from your album that I believe you released when I met you, Lamb Chopping. The first one I'm gonna play.
Yeah,
perfect. All right, so we're gonna get ready to listen to this first bit. This first bit is called MLK Day and is off your album from, I believe, was it 2013 you released this album?
No, it was 2012, December 2012, actually, 8 years ago.
December 2012. It was right, because I met you January 2013 and you had just dropped it. I remember it. That's right.
Damn.
So All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for this is MLK Day off of Anyi Malik's album Lamb Choppin'.
I like Martin Luther King Day a lot too. I don't think we celebrate that properly. I think it's like mostly consumerism. That's all we do on Martin Luther King Day. We buy things on sale, which is not really what the movement was really about. When you think about it, I don't think it was about discounts. I don't think nobody marched for discounts. I mean, they would have put it in the speech. If he would have put it in the speech, he would have made a particular note to say that. He would have brought it up. I have a dream. One day all my brothers and sisters can get zero down on an HD plasma, 36 inches. Like, wow, what is HD? He's so prolific, ahead of his time. You know? He's so ahead of his time. HD, you know. Misappropriate, that's kind of messed up. I don't like this kind of messed up. Corporate America is not the only one, though, that has misappropriated the Martin Luther King holiday, which is unfortunate. I saw a brother handing out some flyers for the Grown and Sexy MLK event with bottle service. It's like, all right. That sounds fun. It sounded fun. I wanted to go, but I was like, dude, this is bullshit, really, because that's definitely not what the movement was about. He would have definitely made a note. It would have been a party. It would have been a political party and not a movement. It would have, would have been something different or something. It would have been the Civil Rights Party. It'd have been, he just said it in the speech. He just said, I have a dream that one day all my brothers and sisters can get $75 bottle service. Grown and Sexy Martin Luther King after event. Grown and sexy black boys and grown and sexy white women dancing together. Trey Songz in the house. Who is Trey Songz? He's so prolific.
That was MLK Day off of Anyi's album Lamb Choppin'. Wow, so freaking funny. So I guess I'll start with what in the world inspired that bit, or was it like different parts of it, or inspired at different times? Like,
yeah, different parts was inspired at different times. First of all, that's my favorite joke that I have in my material. Is seasonal. I get to tell it like once a year, like one season a year, every winter, before, during, and after MLK Day. I just get this shit off, and corporate America and black folks, they get more outlandish with the sales and the parties every year. So the joke is gonna get, the joke. So
that joke never goes out of style.
I'm saying, man, the corporations, man, they keep with these little MLK sales, and brothers keep with these MLK turnups and these, and it's like I feel like I'm gonna be chilling off this for a while. But I just like this joke because it's like most of my material. It ain't even something that I sat down and wrote. It's just something that I was just shouting and complaining and said something, and was like, we was just laughing so hard that it was funny. And then I took it to another level and was like, let me say this in front of people and see if I could recreate this moment. And so definitely the MLK thing came from a flyer that I saw, and it's like, it's Martin Luther King Day is a 3-day weekend, and every 3-day weekend, no matter what the occasion is, they gonna turn up. It's gonna be a party. But I just saw the party, and it was just like more about the party than what MLK stood for. And I was just like, this is trifling, brother. Like, and then it was also the sales too. Like, it was just something that was just funny, that there's no real customs. I mean, the joke, since I've done it on this album and how I do it today, it's like evolved so much more. There's like so many more elements and so many things I add in and say. I should probably do an updated version of the joke, but I kind of just like, ever since I've done it, I've seen other people out there with the premise. Like I seen Chris Rock since that album release, was on, I think, SNL or somewhere, either hosting something where he was talking about MLK and the corporate America link, where he was like, they say something while these TVs is free at last or something. And I was like, damn. So this must be a good premise if like greater minds that, you know what I'm saying, have like, are fucking with it. I had already put it out since then. So I was like, it's not no like where I'm like saying he stole from me, but I came up with this thing, and I'm seeing like greater minds are also linking up with this idea. And, you know, I was like, you know, damn, I forgot about the free at last part. So instead of you know, instead of adding that, instead of, you know, jumping on his shit, I did take that part of the speech and add it to the turn up party, where it's like, you know, ladies free all night, ladies free all night. Good God Almighty, fellas free before 11 with this flyer. The fellas free before 11. DJ Knuckles on the ones and twos. But so yeah, I mean that was just kind of like one of them observations that turned into a joke, and I just kind of just get giddy talking about this shit around Martin Luther King Day. So I always have that joy whenever the topic of MLK Day comes up, and how we don't have any real customs. You know, we just listen to the speech, look at some pictures, and go buy some shit on sale, and, you know, turn up. Trey Songz in the house.
Well, okay, so that was MLK Day. So this next bit that we're gonna listen to by is also off of your album Land Chopping. And this is called the Oakland Raiders. So we're gonna listen to Oakland Raiders. All righty, here we go.
I'm from Oakland, California, and I like the Raiders. I like the Warriors. I like the A's, the athletic franchises. I like the support. I like the way those, you know, driving money to the economy, the big business of it. I like that. That's exciting to me. I like that they, you know, generating dollars for the city. Don't win shit. I haven't won things since yesteryear. It's okay though. You know, I'm down. You know. Since hella yesteryear. But it's okay though. We'll, you
Except
know,
the Warriors.
And there's,
Shouts
you know,
out to the Warriors.
It's always
wow,
the game generates dollars, excitement. I'm a big Raider fan though. Raiders is really great. I'll have to definitely be splicing in some applause. It doesn't matter. Usually gets quiet when people mention the Raiders because, you know, it's an interesting demographic. You know what I mean? The underdogs, the consummate underdogs, not only in sports, but just in life. You know what I mean? Just life's underdogs, you know what I mean? As well as sports underdogs. Like, they don't expect much of us. You know, they don't, you know. I'm from Oakland, though. I like the Raiders. Raiders games are fun. You can get into some trouble at a Raiders game. It's kind of you know what I mean? They got a jail for you at the Raider game. They have that for you there. At the stadium, you can buy a hot dog and bail your homie out the same concession stand at the Coliseum. Be some dude walking through the stands. I got bail bonds here. Get your bonds here. Misdemeanors, felonies, lawyer retainers. I got bonds here. Pass this to the guy with the neck tattoo. It's good fun for the whole family. That's what I'm saying.
Bars.
So that so that was your Oakland Raiders by Anyi Malik off of your album Lamb Chopping. Man, what?
I like that bit because that bit is still in rotation to this day, and still gives me some royalties. So shouts out to the Oakland Raiders, who are no longer in existence. They're no longer the Oakland Raiders, but they'll always.
What's their name now?
The Raiders franchise has moved to another city, and so.
Oh, really? So there is no more football team in Oakland? Is it just San Francisco 49ers is the only Bay?
Yeah, it's the only Bay Area football team located in California, in the Bay Area in San Francisco, Bay or Marin or wherever they got it. But yeah, but that joke though, that Oakland Raiders joke though, still in rotation on Pandora. I still get notifications whenever I get a royalty statement off my little my little albums. Oakland Raiders is usually right at the top.
Okay.
Right at the top. So that's one of my favorite jokes. And that was like and it's kind of nostalgic, you know what I'm saying? I think somewhere it's on a playlist or on a curated playlist, I think on Pandora for comedy from 2017. But that's from 2012. And so even then it captures a whole time period of just when the Oakland Raiders was the Oakland Raiders, you know what I mean? And that whole kind of scene in that era. Las Vegas is not going to be like that. They're not gonna let you get arrested at the Raiders game in Las Vegas. They're gonna throw you out the city. They're gonna, first of all, you got to take 30 COVID tests before you come up in there. And so
Okay.
your genetic code is gonna be in you're not gonna want to get into no trouble. They're gonna quarantine you at the stadium.
You're just gonna be in a plastic bubble. Your family can come visit you, but only on game days.
Right. Only on bye weeks.
Oh, right.
I just want to see my family, man.
You're just rolling around. They let you roll around the football field in your bubble. Like 3 more days. I like that bit though, because I really feel like even though the Raiders are no longer in Oakland, I feel like it is a timeless bit, because one thing, the Oakland Raiders legacy is definitely, everyone knows that legacy, or a lot of people do. I mean, you're from the Bay Area. I mean, it's no secret that, that's a big, I'm sure that had an influence on this bit. I mean, I'm assuming, did you go to Raiders games like when you were younger ever? Or was it just like, have you ever been to a Raiders game, or you just know?
I went to one Raider game in my life. It was Raiders versus the Chiefs in 2006. That's what I went as, but I would watch all the time. I just couldn't afford, or wasn't like cashing out on tickets, or knew anybody that was cashing out on tickets, except for the one time I would linked up with the season holders. But yeah, it's like I said in the joke, like I always was a fan of Oakland sports, not only just because the excitement of the game, but what it meant for the city, And when I was younger, I had memories of the A's winning the World Series, and like little echoes of the Raiders winning the Super Bowl. That was like around the time I was actually born. So they had gone by the time I was like awake and aware of things around me. You know what I'm saying? So the first real championship franchise in Oakland I saw was the A's, and I just like that excitement, and I support teams in my hometown, you know what I mean? And so, it was just one of those things, and we don't win a lot. We weren't used to winning. I mean, the Warriors took the world by storm, because the only reason they shocked the world was because there was such a reputation of the Warriors not winning. And that was just more of a shock to the world than Steph Curry doing his thing. There's people that still can't believe it. They're like fucking Warriors, even though, this is a stellar franchise that, was there 4 out of the last 5 years. So 5 times out of the last, they won 3 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? So I come from like with this, the underdogs, you know what I mean? And so just having this observation is just something funny that happens at a Raider game. I know people who've been arrested at a Raider game and say they hold you there at the game. And I thought that would just be just hella funny to just play with the idea of bailing your homie out at the Raider game. Like, damn,
it's like, let me
your
get
mama
2
house
Bud
up,
Lights.
and you gotta put your mama house up too, and let me get 2 Bud Lights. And give him the deed. Yeah, come on, just give him the deed. He gonna show up to court. It's good. He gonna show. You better show up.
Yo, you just like, it's like you paying at the concession stand, with dollar bills, quarters, and a pink slip. It's like, and they're like, now your friend can get out. And I liked how, the MLK joke is fun and funny, but it really has like a deeper underlying message to it, and then this is just like But I like this too because it just shows like as a comedian, yeah, like you can observe something and then yeah, it can make you think about something deep. And other times it's like you just want to be silly and acknowledge the crazy stuff that's happening, like being, from the Bay and being a Raiders fan, and like that experience. So yeah, it's a good bit.
Thank
All
you.
right. So it's time for your third bit, your third and final bit that we're going to talk about tonight. This is I'm going to let you say the album title. The bit is called Flying Cars Black Mirror. Parentheses.
Oh
Black
well,
Mirror.
it's off the album. It's off my latest album, 6ix9ine Malik's XX, Hilarity, Technology, and Sex. But it's also on my latest EP, Anyi Malik in pre-COVID Black Mirror Bandersnatch remix bars. New EP is the EP features some jokes about the future, some jokes from pre-COVID, and then a remix to a freestyle I did. And on the remix, I got feature verses from Lil B, The Bass God, and I Am Sue, some Bay Area rap legends that came through and blessed my EP with their lyrical joints. But this is a joke. This is a joke off that EP and the album called Black Mirror, Flying Cars in parentheses.
All right, let's take a listen.
I hear people complaining about how far we haven't advanced as a society because we don't have flying cars. Yeah, they're like, oh, where's the flying cars though? Yeah, I know, 2020, blah, 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 but where are the flying cars though? And I'm like, flying cars? Like, don't you realize that traffic is fucked up everywhere? Because people can barely merge lanes on the ground. Like, you want to put a regular fool in the sky, you can't put no regular dude in the air. You can make some regular fool a pilot. Can you imagine the accidents? The accidents is not. Yo, what happened up there? Oh man, look, yo, yeah, everything backed up, man. What's going on up there? Oh man, you wouldn't believe it. Some asshole changed altitudes without notifying ground control, cut off somebody's whole flight path. She was streaming her recipes from the cockpit and crashed right into a building. And the building, they died on impact, and then they fell to the ground level on top of a whole other car. And it was a cop car, and the cop, he was 2 weeks from retirement. And well, damn, what we waiting on? Why this shit ain't moving? Well, we're waiting on the black box. They waiting on the recovery team to get the black box right now. What? That's gonna take 2 hours, man. I'm about to be late for work. I'm supposed to be downtown in 20 minutes. Damn, now I gotta upload my consciousness up to the cloud so I can beam across down. I hate that, man. They don't know how to beam my shit right, man. I had some grits this morning, man. They don't know how to materialize my recipe. That was an episode of Black Mirror that I've been working on. Trademark. Nah, it was my Black Mirror spec script.
Oh, that was Flying Cars, parentheses, Black Mirror. Off
Black
of
Mirror, Black Mirror, in parentheses, Flying Cars.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'll tell iTunes to switch it.
Is that what it is? Did I fuck it up?
No, I'm just saying that's what it says on iTunes. On iTunes it says Flying Cars, parentheses,
my
Black
bad,
Mirror,
Chelse.
but it's your shit. So let me get it right.
Nah. That was my bad. My bad. It's listeners. It's what she just said. What she says, Flying Cars, Black Mirror in parentheses. That's right, because it's more about the flying cars.
But it's no, but I when I hear you tell that bit or listen to it, I can visualize that early scene in the movie Fifth Element where Bruce Willis is driving and like Lilu just falls into his car and then it's just like
right.
And I'm like, yeah, like that was in 1995 that movie came out,
right.
and I'm like, and you're right, people have not gotten better at driving, like
no, not even.
And as someone who just took a plane to and from Atlanta, I'm like, oh yeah, like no, you we need to stay on the ground. Like, we don't have the ground figured out yet. But
we haven't unlocked all the levels.
Was there a specific experience? I know you said in the bit, that you've heard people saying. Was there a specific, instance?
It was just really. I think it was really just being irritated with people complaining about not having flying cars, and I was just like kind of playing devil's advocate. It was just like, and I just kind of just thought of just like overhead shit. I think it was that movie Donnie Darko, where just I don't want to spoil it, but some shit fell out the sky on his ass, and I was like, damn. And niggas really want to have flying cars, some shit will be fucked up. Like even if you drop, you drop a penny from the 10th floor, if that hits somebody in the head on the ground level, they fucked up bad. It's not no punk shit. And so I just think of that, hearing people, it's just like complaining about where we haven't advanced. And it's like, man, just let us be where we at. We can barely handle the shit that we doing now. Don't, where's the flying? Where are my flying cars? The flying cars. It's like, dude.
It's like, where's your turn signal?
Like, yeah, it's like, fam, y'all act a asshole in the parking lot. Where you gonna park a fucking flying thing? Where you gonna park that?
Okay.
We got to get to the sky now. Oh shit, where'd I leave my fucking jet? Where did I? Oh, it was hovering. It was hovering. Where'd I leave it hovering? Oh, I gotta get up 30. What the fuck? Like, it don't make, people just like kind of just don't think things through. I really just kind of just in a moment of frustration of hearing people, I don't know where I was, where I heard people complaining about not having flying, because it's a common complaint. But I think I had it up to a certain point where I was just like, dude, y'all don't like play with this idea for a minute. Give a regular motherfucker a flying car, he's gonna lose his mind. And everything else kind of came afterwards, like the like the cop car and all that shit. That's kind of just like a trope. It was just kind of I just kind of stayed in the imagination of a traffic jam caused by some flight fuck up, some flying car fuck up. And what was it? What was the aspect of it? That was the aspect of it that I knew was gonna make the joke really sell, was kind of incorporating in this act out of this traffic jam, incorporating, ground control, which is what actual pilots have to report to anytime anytime you in the skies. You gotta identify yourself as an object that's flying around these skies. And so I'm just playing with the idea of just introducing an element of aviation to the conversation of flying cars, to add some room, some breath to the discussion. Is going to just be hilarious. Like, nobody ever thinks that you'll have to check in with ground control while you fucking around flying in the sky. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at no point did it occur to you that somebody on the ground gonna have to deal with this bullshit. This is like you know,
right.
Changing lanes is you trying to just go from 500 feet to 400 feet. You can't just do that, man.
Right.
you gotta stay
a
at
whole
500.
Story you gotta follow.
Lanes. Now you like lanes. Then now it's like what's a lane? What's above you? Now it's not even a lane. Now it's like you in zone. Stay in your zone. Stay in your I don't even know, man. It's like
right. Stay in your cloud. I mean, it's just like
you got quadrants. Stay in your quadrant. Even though you got a whole cubic.
And that's C3.
You gotta you need to, man, I don't know. But it's not even just at that point, you ain't even just talking about lanes no more, man. You columns. You gotta stay in your column.
Not a column.
Yeah, you in my lane. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not in your column though. So yeah, we in the same lane, but I'm right on top of you, player.
People gonna have coordinates for real. It's gonna be okay.
They're gonna have to add another dimension to the coordinates.
Right, it's gonna be latitude. Like people really gonna be like directions are gonna be in latitude and longitude. Okay, it's gonna be.
Well, no, latitude, longitude, and then one more the upwards, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the depth is
The
gonna be the sea level. Latitude, longitude, and sea level. They're gonna hit you with that.
I think
Now, where are you at on sea level though? Oh shit! Damn.
You know, honestly though, it'd be really hard for cheaters to get followed by their girlfriends or boyfriends because I feel like, now it's gonna be even more dangerous because when somebody catches their significant other cheating, they might be liable to like ram them in the back with a now it's like, man, they're gonna be in the air like, I see you. You said you was gonna be at 200 feet. Why you up here at 800 feet? Like people gonna be having affairs at 1,000 feet. I mean, it's a great alibi.
Sound lit though.
Lord.
Over there doing it on ground level if you want to. Come up here at 10,000 feet.
That's how
Get
fights,
your cheat on.
I feel like that's how people are gonna call fights then. They're gonna be like, meet me at 1,100.
Me be in the sky. No, fuck it. Bring your jetpack.
Jetpack.
Bring
The
your
Mandalorian
jetpack. I ain't got a jetpack. I got a hoverboard, but I'm gonna see you up there. I'm gonna get up there. I got the hover thing. Don't worry about how I'm gonna be up there. Don't you? I'll be up there.
and then you don't show up for the fight and you say, oh, what happened? You're like, oh man, these batteries, I didn't get clearance. I didn't get clearance for takeoff.
So part two to that joke is about the personal flying devices because it sounds more realistic that we as personal individuals will be able to fly before you can get a car to fly. Before that makes sense. What makes sense is like you're not gonna be able to stop one person. You can stop you can stop cars, but you can't stop a motherfucker from just being like, I'm fine, but whatever,
Right, we're all gonna be little Mandalorians just like zooming around the sky.
Yeah, it can happen. And so part two of that joke is personal flying device, in parentheses, Bandersnatch, to kind of play up more on the Black Mirror element of that futuristic, that dark future, automated flight, futuristic world. Definitely worth checking out on your DSPs. It's on the album 6ix9ine Malik's XX Hilarity, Technology, and Sex, and it's also on my latest. It's my latest EP, my EP Anyi Malik in pre-COVID Black Mirror Bandersnatch remix bars.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, or 1500th, but you've heard it. But
yeah, unless you heard it somewhere else and then you hear it the second or third time or whatever time you hear it. But this is the first time somebody told you heard it here first, though.
I see what you did there. I see it and I feel it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another edition of Inside the Punchlines. That was Anyi Malik. We heard 3 amazing tracks from him. You can listen to all of his albums. They're all available on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, anywhere you can stream and listen. Anyi, if you want to share your social media and any other information you want to share with everybody, I'll let you have the floor.
I'm wherever you want to find me at ANYIMALIK, Anyi Malik, AnyiMalik.com, Anyi Malik on Venmo, Anyi Malik on Cash App, Anyi Malik. I got a store, I got merch, Anyi Malik on Spotify, Anyi Malik on Apple Music. I'm all over the place. Any Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, just type Anyi Malik right after the @ or right after the slash on the .com, my name pops up. My profile will pop up on you. And so will my offering. My favorite comedy album is Pop Grits. It's not my most recent album, but it was my most favorite to record. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was my most favorite to record. So Pop Grits, definitely check that one out. I know I didn't play anything from pop grits on this program. Perhaps you'll have me back in the future. We can get more insights
Definitely,
and
we'll
more
definitely have you
punchlines.
back.
But
You
I
got a lot of
appreciate you having
content.
me. Thank you so much for having me, though. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh
This is like,
no, I couldn't do something like this and not, because I'm blessed enough that I've been around you for 8 years, so I've actually witnessed you like come up with some bits that are like on your album, some of your albums now, and it's fun. It's fun to watch for me. As much as I love doing comedy, I equally enjoy watching comedians, like watching other comedians' brains work and watching you process, and then seeing you go to open mics and go to shows and like work it out and add things. And it's a process that not a lot of people get to experience or see. So thank you for sharing on here, and thank you for letting me get inside your punchlines. Don't worry, I wore protection. All right. Well, thank you so much, Anyi, for
thank you.
logging
Thank
off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and log off now.
We're gonna log off, especially because we got it's at 44 minutes. We got 45 minutes free, so this is about to be it.
We're gonna need you to log off, Chelse.
All right, I'm gonna log off. This is Anyi Malik. That's Anyi Malik. I'm Chelsea Greaux. This is Chelsea's Chai, and we just wrapped up Inside the Punchlines. And until next time, stay laughing. Bye. Oh my goodness. It has come to that time of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Grow Up. Da-da-da! Okay, so my Grow Up is definitely for Mr. Donald Trump. Notice I did not use President Donald Trump because I look at the term president as a term of respect. And I think that, it's unfortunate that we had to call him President Trump, I mean, for the last 4 years. But for those of you who are not aware, who have been living under a rock or who have been in Aruba or Fiji with no Wi-Fi, I want to let you know that the soon-to-be former president of the United States, Donald Trump, led an insurrection on Wednesday, January 6, 2021, the first few days of the year. This man attempted to lead a coup of the country. And, an overtaking of the very country he is supposed to be, who he swore on a Bible to protect. First of all, let me say this. What is it about Bibles that people just are like, okay, whatever? Like, I don't even like, I have my Bible kept in my drawer, in my apartment. I do not even like putting anything over top of my Bible. Like, I don't like a napkin to be over top of it. I don't even want the word Bible to be covered up, because that is how sacred to me the Bible is. This man put his hand on the Bible 4 years ago and said, I will protect this country. And last week, he just tried to insurrect it. I mean, you lost. Like, you lost. And this is the problem with white privilege. White privilege really, it's disheartening. I feel like white privilege is the equivalent to the baby of the child, right? You've got the oldest child, you got the middle child, and you got the baby, right? Now, Black people, we are obviously the oldest child, okay? Because what does the oldest child experience? The oldest child in a family, they get disciplined the harshest, they get the least assistance, and they just get, they get all this responsibility. And they're told to take care of kids 2 and 3 as if they're a parent. That is definitely Black people, okay? The baby of the family is white people, okay? Because how does the baby of the family get treated? They get no consequences for their actions. They get coddled. They can do no wrong. They're told that they're amazing and that they can do whatever they want. They're told that the police are here to protect them. Like, that is what the baby of the family, of this family of America, is. White people. And I feel like every other race of people, Latinos, Asians, Native Americans, I feel like everybody else is the middle child, just trying to be like, all right, guys, stop the fighting. I am a middle child, so that's I relate to that. But yeah, the reason we have to grow up as a country and understand that, the white privilege really is so much more of a threat than we are leading on, is because white privilege is the reason that so many people felt that it was okay for them to go to the Capitol building and charge in. I felt like I was watching like a Steven Soderbergh film, or like no, not Soderbergh, excuse me, a Michael Bay film. I know that they do not have initials in common, but I don't know. Steven Soderbergh, maybe it was alliteration. Sidebars. But what I'm saying is I felt like that I was like, are the Transformers gonna come out? Like at this like literally the way that those people stormed to the Capitol building, I thought that Optimus Prime was about to come out with the Autobots and have to, because I was like, how are they going to stop this? I didn't know what they were going to do. I had no idea. And also too, there was a 60 Minutes interview from last Friday where Nancy Pelosi was interviewing, and they asked her, interviewer asked her, to like, how did she feel during when they were coming for her, and they actually played some recordings, some audio recordings from some of Nancy Pelosi's staff members who were recording the rioters and terrorists, domestic terrorists outside, and they were recording it, and in the recordings you can hear them yelling, "Nancy, Nancy, we know you're there, Nancy." I was like, is this Clockwork Orange? The new edition? I don't know if you've all seen Clockwork Orange. A good movie, very terrifying and creepy though, and that is exactly what I thought when I heard all those like Nancy. I said, "Oh no, you can't just yell somebody's name in that even octave and then at the end kind of waver. Okay, that is horrifying. Okay, Nancy." I'll be like, "Oh no," when somebody starts calling your name like they Casper. Okay, that means one of y'all about to end up a ghost. Like really, it's scary. I was terrified listening to this. Um Also, I can't believe that these people, I felt like they were trying to kill members of Congress, which is even more terrifying and disgusting. But what terrible timing. Like I was like, these people, these domestic terrorists, I'm like, you're gonna try to kill or assassinate or assault or injure members of Congress right before weed gets legal? We are this close now that Republicans don't have the majority in the Senate anymore. Now that we flipped Georgia, weed is a roach size away from being federally legal. Okay, and those of you smoke, a roach, that is close. We are almost at the end, and I'm really looking forward to that, because what I really think is, I think that all these people that were at the Capitol building that came in from like, all these states like Tennessee and South Carolina and Florida, if they had some good Cali Kush to smoke and it was legal, oh no, they would have burned their own Confederate flags. Okay, all them people, they're like, where's our country? Where's our country? We want to take over. Hand them some OG Kush from Northern California. Okay, rolled up nice. Let them hit a one. You know what? This flag is kind of trash. It doesn't even look right. Confederate? What's a Confederacy? That is what would happen. And I am looking forward. I really hope that weed becomes federally legal, because at this point, I feel like that's our only hope. I think our only hope for anybody to start acting sane again is to open up that third eye and start smoking some kush. Because let me tell y'all something. When I've lived in California now for almost 9 years, and as somebody who got diagnosed years ago with clinical anxiety and was on all these medications and none of them worked, and they made me even crazier than I felt, weed definitely has, in my personal life and in my personal experience, I have seen some really great benefits, but definitely the calming aspect is a big factor. And now's not the time to be trying to attack Congress. We need them. We need those votes so we can be legal, so y'all can calm down. That's the problem with all these people. You got white privilege, but you don't have weed. I think white privilege with weed, I feel like the cannabinoids would hopefully like just, I don't know, like a scrambler or like a blender. I feel like it would mix things up and like make it go, oh, that's a smoothie. Also too, Black women. I don't know about y'all. I've been single a while, my whole life, and I'm exhausted. I've dated, I've had guys I dated for a few months, or nothing serious though. And I've been wondering sometimes, you look at the sky and you're like, God, where's my soulmate? But with this legalization of weed, okay, this potential federal legalization of weed, it also means that all of these beautiful, handsome black men that have been in jail for like 5, 10, 15 years because they got arrested in Mississippi with a nug of weed and they had a jerk for a cop, and couldn't afford a good lawyer, and they were in Mississippi and black, and then they threw the book at him. We're gonna throw the book at you, black boy, because you have a nug of weed. Meanwhile, so many white men getting rich off weed right now. But anyway, and you look at that and you experience that. And all I can think is, it's like, if weed becomes federally legal, all those records are going to be expunged. All of those non-violent weed charges that have all these black men in jail. And you know what that means, black women? That is a whole new dating pool. Okay. When they get released, them records are about to be expunged. Okay. You about to have an ex-con with an expunged record who is fine. He ain't been doing nothing in jail but push-ups and praying. Okay, he gonna love God. He gonna have biceps. He gonna have all that pent-up energy. And we about to and he gonna get out and we gonna smoke some weed. Like, I'm excited. Okay, I feel like a lot of black women's husbands have been in jail for a while. I think a lot of black women's husbands have just been locked up for the wrong reasons, because like they just caught in the wrong state. They were in Tennessee or Alabama, the same states, ironically, that these domestic terrorists were from, and they were honestly, uh put away for long times for ridiculously small amounts of weed. I've heard stories of guys just having a bowl with a little bit of nug in it and they got like a few years. It's insane. So I'm definitely looking forward to this new dating pool. So ladies and gentlemen, grow up. America, grow up. Trump, grow up. Okay, especially Trump, grow up. You lost. The most mature thing that you're doing is not going to the inauguration. Okay. And I don't have time. I don't want to hear from anybody about, oh my gosh, and how dare you speak against the president? He's a mess. Okay. Like, we all have parents and cousins and grandparents, and yes, they have these titles, but some of these people in our lives are trash. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Actually, I need to stop saying I'm sorry. Trump is trash. Okay. He trash because he would rather insurrect his own country that's been so good to him. The same country where he's made a bunch of money, the same country that, because of freedom of speech, he's allowed to say some horrible things that he said about women and the LGBTQIA community and about black people, about Latinos, about all of us. Okay. He has talked trash about everybody that is not a straight white man. Okay. And so he does need to grow up. And I'm glad he's not going to be at the inauguration. I really hope that this drama is done. I really hope that everything just starts panning itself out and cleaning itself up, because it's time for a new era. Okay. It's time for us all to grow up and grow into this new chapter. Coronavirus is still going on. And yeah, we all just need to grow up. I mean, the main people, like I said, again, Trump in America mainly, but the rest of us, your growth is your responsibility. It's your job to be like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to evolve myself and I'm going to make the steps to change and have a positive future. So this has been the first edition of Chelsea's Chai. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening and taking the time to hear me fill your cup. So until next time, keep brewing.